Remember TikTok? That app where teenagers dance and make funny videos? It's hard to forget, right? It's become a cultural phenomenon, a platform where creativity knows no bounds. But what if I told you that this seemingly innocent app is at the center of a geopolitical storm? Yes, the same app where you can find the latest dance crazes and viral challenges is now being scrutinized for something far more serious. Turns out, it's also a national security threat. At least that's what the US government is saying. They argue that TikTok, with its vast amount of user data, could be a tool for espionage. The concern is that the Chinese government could potentially access this data through ByteDance, TikTok's parent company. This has led to a series of dramatic actions. The US government has forced TikTok to separate from ByteDance or else face a total ban. Imagine being told to cut ties with your family or lose everything you've built. It's a tough choice. The ultimatum was clear: comply or disappear from the US market. This wasn't just about some silly dances and catchy tunes, it set a precedent, a scary one. It's like being asked to choose between your left arm and your right arm. Brutal. But the implications go even deeper. This move by the US government signals a new era of tech scrutiny and regulation. It's not just about TikTok anymore. Now any Chinese-owned company could be next. Think about other popular apps and services like Temu and Shein. These companies could also find themselves under the microscope, facing similar pressures and demands. Even that weird little orange chicken place down the street might not be safe. Okay, maybe not the last one, but you get the point. This is bigger than TikTok. It's about power. It's about control. It's about two superpowers going head-to-head in a battle for global dominance. The stakes are high and the world is watching. What happens next could reshape the tech landscape and redefine international relations. So buckle up, folks. Things are about to get interesting. The TikTok saga is far from over, and its outcome could have ripple effects that touch every corner of the globe. As we watch this drama unfold, one thing is clear. The battle for digital supremacy is just beginning. And TikTok? It's just the tip of the iceberg. Stay tuned, because the world of tech and politics is about to collide in ways we've never seen before. Remember when national security was about tanks and missiles? Back in the day, the strength of a nation was measured by the size of its army and the power of its weaponry. It was a time when military parades showcased rows of tanks and missiles, and the world watched in awe. Yeah, those were simpler times. The threats were visible, tangible, and often came with a clear face. Soldiers marched in unison, and the enemy was someone you could point to on a map. Now it's all about supply chains and microchips. The battlefield has shifted from open fields to factory floors and shipping lanes. The new warriors are engineers and logistics experts, ensuring that the flow of goods and technology remains uninterrupted. Who knew that the fate of the free world could hinge on our ability to get a new iPhone every year? It's not just about consumer convenience, it's about maintaining technological superiority and economic stability. The US is freaking out. The realization has dawned that control over these critical supply chains is slipping away, and with it, a significant portion of national security. They're worried that China has too much control over key industries. From electronics to pharmaceuticals, the dependency on Chinese manufacturing has become a glaring vulnerability. Semiconductors, biotech, autos, you name it, they want it back. The US is pushing to reclaim its dominance in these sectors, recognizing that the future of warfare and economic power lies in these advanced technologies. They're calling it economic security. But it's more than just a buzzword. It's a strategic pivot to ensure that the nation can withstand and thrive amidst global competition and potential conflicts. But let's be honest, it just sounds like a fancy way of saying, we want to make everything in America again. The push for domestic manufacturing is as much about patriotism as it is about practicality. Of course, this being America, they're not just politely asking China to hand over the keys to the global economy. The approach is aggressive, leveraging every possible tactic to shift the balance of power. They're using every tool in their arsenal: sanctions, export controls, even good old-fashioned political pressure. It's a multifaceted strategy aimed at curbing China's influence and reasserting American dominance. It's a full-court press, and China is not amused. The stakes are high, and the outcome of this economic tug-of-war will shape the future of global power dynamics for years to come. The US government has a shopping list. And guess what's on it? Anything and everything China has touched. Ports? Check. Tech firms? Check. Even that one time China bought a bunch of soybeans? Okay, maybe not that last one, but you get the idea. Take Nexperia, for example. It's a Dutch semiconductor company. Sounds harmless, right? Wrong. They were bought by a Chinese company called Wingtech. And that's all it took for the US to freak out. They slapped Wingtech on the entity list, which is basically the naughty list for companies. No more American technology for you. And it's not just happening in the US. The UK blocked Nexperia from buying a British manufacturing facility. It's like a game of global keep away, and the prize is, well, the entire global economy. Fun times. You didn't think China would just sit there and take it, did you? They've got their own bag of tricks, and let's just say they're not afraid to use them. Take the case of CK Hutchison. They're a Hong Kong-based company that owned a bunch of ports, including some in the Panama Canal. When they tried to sell those ports to a BlackRock-led consortium, China was not happy. They saw it as a direct challenge to their interests. China pulled out all the stops. They criticized the deal, threatened regulatory action, and even pressured state-owned enterprises to cut ties with CK Hutchison. It was a clear message: don't mess with our stuff. Section 5. Caught in the crossfire. Businesses on the front lines. Imagine being a business caught in the middle of all this. The geopolitical tensions between major powers are not just affecting governments and military strategies, they are also putting immense pressure on businesses around the world. Companies are finding themselves in a precarious position, having to navigate through a minefield of political and economic uncertainties. It's like trying to make a sandwich while two gorillas fight over the last banana. The chaos is palpable, and businesses are struggling to maintain their operations while the giants clash. The unpredictability of the situation makes it nearly impossible for companies to plan for the future. Volvo, owned by China's Geely, is feeling the heat. The automotive industry is particularly vulnerable, with supply chains that span across multiple countries. The reliance on international partnerships and components means that any disruption can have a cascading effect on production and sales. The United States is banning vehicles with Chinese-made connected technology from 2027. This move is part of a broader strategy to reduce dependence on Chinese technology and to protect national security. However, it also puts companies like Volvo in a difficult position, forcing them to rethink their supply chains and technological partnerships. That's a big problem for Volvo, which relies heavily on Chinese parts. The company now faces the daunting task of finding alternative suppliers, which is not only time-consuming but also costly. The uncertainty surrounding these changes adds another layer of complexity to an already challenging business environment. It's a lose-lose situation for businesses. They are caught between the demands of different governments and the need to stay competitive in a global market. The stakes are high, and the wrong move could result in significant financial losses or even the collapse of the business. Side with the United States, and you risk losing access to the Chinese market. This market is not only vast but also rapidly growing, offering numerous opportunities for expansion and profit. Losing access to it could be a devastating blow for any company. Side with China, and you risk getting shut out of the United States market. The US market is equally important, with its own set of opportunities and challenges. Being excluded from it could mean losing a significant portion of revenue and market share. It's enough to make you want to give up and open a lemonade stand. The simplicity of such a business seems appealing compared to the complexities of navigating international trade and politics. However, even this seemingly simple solution is fraught with its own set of challenges. But even then, you'd probably have to worry about which country the lemons came from. The global nature of supply chains means that no business is truly isolated from international politics. Every decision, no matter how small, can have far-reaching implications in this interconnected world. Section 6. The future looks dicey, brace for impact. So what does the future hold? More of the same, but worse. The rivalry between the United States and China is only going to intensify. Both sides are digging in their heels, and neither is willing to back down. This is bad news for everyone. The global economy is already on shaky ground. This asset tug-of-war is like throwing a lit match into a fireworks factory. Expect more volatility, more uncertainty, and more headaches for businesses and consumers alike. Section 7. A New World Disorder, the Global Fallout. This isn't just a problem for the United States and China. This is a global problem. The rest of the world is being forced to choose sides. Do they align themselves with the United States and its vision of a free and open Indo-Pacific? Or do they cozy up to China and its massive economy? This is creating new alliances and deepening old rivalries. The world is splitting into two camps, and it's not pretty. We're headed for a new Cold War, but this time the stakes are even higher. Section 8. The price of freedom. Who pays for de-risking? The United States is all about de-risking from China, but who pays for all this de-risking? Spoiler alert, it's you and me. Rebuilding domestic manufacturing and supply chains is expensive, and guess who's going to foot the bill? That's right, the American taxpayer. Get ready for higher prices, fewer choices, and a whole lot of economic pain. It's the price of freedom, baby. Or at least that's what the politicians will tell us. Section 9, the endgame. What does victory look like? What's the endgame here? What does victory look like? Honestly, nobody knows. This isn't a game with a clear winner and loser. It's a messy, chaotic struggle for power that could drag on for decades. One thing is certain, the world is changing. The old rules no longer apply, and the only way to navigate this new world disorder is to be prepared for anything. So, buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
So, hit that subscribe button. Ring the bell for notifications, and let's turn the page on a new adventure together. Get ready to experience books like never before, only on VBook 360. Like, comment, and share to support the channel and keep the video magic alive. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, every video has a story, and every story deserves to be shared. See you in the next video.